showing a creative process.
Hello and welcome to Decaf Hour. This is gonna be a new series, hopefully, that we start on the channel. Maybe we'll put it on a separate channel. I don't know. If it eventually gets popular enough, we might make a separate channel for it. But it's basically going to be a podcast style thing where we put
I should go
on.
ahead and secure that name for a channel.
Oh, you could, but you don't have
I,
to.
I mean, we can.
It's
But
basically
anyways,
gonna be an hour of just us looking over an old recording that wasn't interesting enough to make a video out of, or something along those lines. And we'll just either talk about that recording or something to do with it, or nothing at all, and we'll just talk about something else. Like today, we have planned to talk about work during quarantine. Haha. Do you remember when I said that? Long time ago?
I remember you telling me that a long time ago.
Yeah, alright. So I'm
God,
gonna
this
play.
conversation is gonna make me upset because we've had long conversations about how much working right now sucks.
Yeah. What would you say, like, let's just jump right into it. What would you say is your number one, like, pet peeve? Either about working in the quarantine or working in general at undisclosed fast food location.
Um, just corporate.
Corporate?
Cause here's the
You think
thing.
corporate's a bigger pain than the customers?
See, it's actually no, actually, I don't have not received that much trouble from the customers. It does irritate me how many people are coming out and like getting fast food like at a place where you
Yeah.
can't go in a drive through or anything. Like people just so for some context here, we only have like outside facing windows. We don't have a drive through. We used to not have the lobby. We have the lobby open to take orders, but people aren't really allowed to hang
Well,
out
the thing
there.
is, like, we say we only have that, but at least we have that. Like, there are places like, I don't know, like, there are some places that are open that have only the inside open. Like I went to Poke. We went to Poke, and they only had the inside open.
Yeah, and to be fair to Poke, they couldn't really stay open if they didn't let people in,
Yeah, but like,
unless they did just delivery. Which I found out, by the way, a little off topic, that you could DoorDash Poke.
yes, you can.
That's disturbing, and I wish I had never found out that information.
Why? Because now you're gonna DoorDash Poke. You're gonna be that
Oh,
guy.
absolutely not, because it's too expensive to DoorDash.
Yeah,
DoorDash
that
is
too.
I DoorDash on 2 days, and it's when I'm sick.
Yes.
Or two types of days. It's when I'm sick in one kind of way. Either I am not feeling well mentally, or I'm not feeling well physically.
Uh huh.
Mostly it's the former, because when I'm not feeling good physically, I don't usually want anything I can DoorDash.
Mhm.
But but yeah, usually it's like I had a shitty day. I don't want to leave my house or
Yeah,
my
yeah.
bed,
No,
and
I get that.
that's primary. The only other time I DoorDash is I DoorDash from Ike's, because Ike's is a little far, and I didn't until recently. Wasn't My bike was broken, so I didn't have a good way to go down there, and I
Uh
don't
huh.
own a car or a license like you do.
Yeah. You're a little baby boy. um.
Despite being older than you, yeah.
Yeah. Um. I mean, you didn't have very convenient circumstances in which your parents were getting a new car and they just hand me down the other old minivan.
Well, I wasn't lazy, and I didn't do any of the things for learning how to drive or getting a license.
Well, yeah, that's on you. What about
But
like,
oh my,
what's your worst? What's your least favorite type of customer?
oh, my least favorite type of customer.
Yeah.
The freaking I don't. It's not even the customers usually that bother me. You know what? Who bothers me the most? The freaking DoorDashers. Not the DoorDashers. The Dashers, I
the
guess they're called. The drivers.
yeah, the
The
dashers.
drivers for DoorDash. And Uber Eats is usually better, but the worst.
Yeah.
So like, on average, Uber Eats is better, but the worst experience I ever had was with an Uber Eats driver.
Oh, what's
And
that?
an Uber Eats driver really like this is the only time I like back talked to a customer
Oh
or
no.
a driver before, which was
Yeah.
this guy was like, we forgot to enter it in because it was super busy. It was, I think it was a Thursday, which for some reason Thursdays are our busiest day.
Yeah.
Um,
For some reason.
and it was late. It was like at 11. Like it was the last, like it was closer to the end of when Uber Eats could even come in.
Yeah.
And we forgot to make the order, so I entered it in as this guy walks up, right? And
Mhm.
then he's like, "How long will it be?" Because I told him it wasn't made yet, and I'm like, "It'll be 10 to 15 minutes."
Yeah.
And to be fair, that sounds like a long time, and it was going to be longer than it took. It ended up being longer than it actually took, but only because I was like thinking in like worst case scenario, it should
Yeah.
take this long. Um, but he was like, he gave me all this kind of shit like, "I've been on your side of the counter. I know what it's like." And I'm like, "We
Uh-huh.
don't we don't work at the Mick regular Mick job Mick place
McRegular.
where you get the Mick food. We don't work there. We don't work at that place where everything's super fast because it's
Yeah.
processed as hell and, not real food." I wouldn't say what we sell is real food either, but it's fresher, a lot
It's
fresher.
it's more real. Definitely more real.
It's definitely better
Yeah.
and fresher and it just overall better quality than what you get at the Mick place.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I told him it's like, I told him that a lot of people have had fast food jobs, but this place is different. And the real snarky thing I said to him was the fact that, hey, we're not Mickey D's.
Mhm.
All right, we're not that low quality crap that you probably worked at. We're not that place.
Yeah.
And it was the most annoyed I ever got at a driver because he was like just passive aggressive the entire time, and he sat there and stared at us while we were making it.
Oh, that's awful. Huh. Yeah.
And that's actually, it's back to the question. That's the customer I hate the most, by the way. If you sit there for
Yeah.
any reason and stare at me while I'm making your food, even if it's like an innocent, like you're just staring off into space,
Or like
like
if it's
in the kitchen.
if it's a little kid, it's kind of different because they're just like they're kind of like
Well, little kids, it's it's cute when they do it.
yeah, they're interested. They're like,
Like,
you know.
or they're just excited for their ice cream cone or whatever, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
But when adults do it, especially when adults do it after there's been some kind of problem, like a delay or something, like when adults sit there and stare at you with like an annoyed face, A, that's like, it's rude on so many levels.
Yeah.
And B, it's like, you have to imagine that a lot of the people working at this place are not, we're not professional chefs. We're people.
We're kids. Most of
Yeah,
us are kids.
yeah, we're basically kids, right? And when you do that, not only is it super intimidating and annoying, it's also like, flares our anxiety.
Yeah, it's
And one of us,
stressful.
at least one person who works there, is diagnosed, well, provisional diagnosis of with anxiety. So don't do that. And by the way, that person's me. So stop.
Yeah.
Like I hate it so much, and it gives me a weird mix of emotions because not only does it flare my anxiety, but it also just makes me angry. And those are two emotions that do not mix
Do
well. So
not
stop
go
doing that.
together.
That's the
Yeah.
thing I hate the most. Stop that.
Yeah. It's I hate I really also dislike it when customers just kind of like sit there just like staring like they especially it's not it's all old people. Every old person does it. I don't understand it. Like if you're an old person, I can understand like you want to make sure the quality of the food is good, but like it's not like you're going to stand there and you're going to like
If you want to
I'm
make
gonna
sure the
turn
quality
around.
of the food's good, don't order from a fast food place.
That too. But it's like, it's not like I'm gonna turn around and see, oh, there's someone watching me. I might as well make their food 10 times as good as I normally do because they're watching me. No.
Oh, that doesn't happen.
If
yeah.
anything, like, I get pissed off and I say, yeah, I'm gonna fucking char your burger, you piece of shit.
Yeah, also, here's the thing. Don't do that shit because we can absolutely mess up your order and get away with it.
Yeah.
The worst that'll happen to us is that we can remake it, and we can still remake it, better but not great.
Yeah, like there are things that are out of our control that we go out of our way to not deal with sometimes. Like we have a little machine that toasts the buns, and a lot of the time the top bun just gets absolutely fucked. Like we got new shipment of buns at some point, and like the burger buns are just they're not made to exist for some reason, and so when they go through the bun toaster, they just like shatter the fucking.
Yeah, so
it just
they-
disintegrates
to
for
give you a
no
better
reason.
image, to give you a better image of what happens, the tops of the buns will usually get shredded up.
Yeah, like
Because
so.
the grill, what is it called, the toaster also like squishes them
Yeah,
a bit.
it presses them so that they get properly toasted.
Yeah, the top bun will often have the top like portion of it, like the very top of the dome of the bun will get ripped up.
It'll just get
And
completely shredded off, and a lot of the times it's like to the point that we have to look at it and say, huh, is this bad enough to not send out to the customer? And a lot of the times, no, it's perfectly fine to send out to the customer, but we just like, want to make it kind of nice.
I have not I used to do a bunch of stuff like that. Like if this was a little bad, I would like remake it real fast, right? I've never had to do that with the buns. I never had it shred the buns that badly.
Oh,
But
it happens to me all the time. All the time.
it just hates you, I guess. But
Guess so.
but it's like recently with how busy it's been because we got way busier during the quarantine.
Yeah,
I have had
especially
I don't do
recently.
like most of those things that I used to do too. It's like, and I want to do those things. Like I actually I'm one of those people who's like I want to do, even though I'm working at a fast food job, right? I want to give you good service.
Yeah.
But there's 30 people outside and 10 DoorDash is ringing. I can't do that to
I
the
can't
same
cater to
degree.
all
And it's like
the
you're
needs.
just gonna have to accept that.
Yeah.
Accept that if it's busy, that it's not going to look as pretty or
Yeah.
come out as fast or necessarily be as good. But it's also fast food, so it's not going to be like terrible. It's
Yeah.
going to be what you expect from where you're purchasing from. But
I mean, I'd say we're a little above average for fast food.
well, yeah, I'm saying it's just like you're not expecting like our top quality, like on, even for us you're not going to expect like the top quality of,
Yeah.
that's hard to say it, but like our standard, like usually we go out of our way to make things good. You and me do, at least. Some of our coworkers don't do that.
Yeah.
But you can't expect us to do that during how busy we've been.
Yeah.
Also, remember that if it doesn't look busy outside and we're making a bunch of food inside, you should put 2 and 2 together and realize that we're busy because of freaking DoorDash.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are a lot of customers. This is another thing older customers are especially guilty of. Which is forgetting that delivery services exist and going like, why is it taking so long? It's like, because we've had 15 mobile orders coming in.
I have a story from yesterday.
Also, real quick to wrap up the bun and Uber conversation,
Mm-hmm.
or DoorDash and Uber Eats.
Yeah.
We had somebody actually call the store. This amazes me, the amount of effort they went through.
Yeah.
To call the store to talk about how the top of their bun was ripped up and thought it was done on purpose because they ordered from DoorDash.
Oh my
And I'm like,
God.
you think we would go that much effort even to spite you?
I mean, like, I have gone to such, like, I've had to restrain myself from writing "Stop ordering Uber Eats at 11 p.m." on a receipt. But like, I refrain. I restrain myself. I
That would
actually
probably
do.
have gotten you in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, it really would have. But I was so tempted. I was so
Yeah.
tempted. You know how bad it is.
Yeah, ordering right before somewhere closes is not great.
Ugh.
We close for reference. Also,
We
DoorDash
close
and
at
Uber
midnight,
Eats.
but
Yeah, DoorDash
DoorDash
and Uber
and
Eats
Uber
close at
Eats.
11.
yeah.
We can't take meal orders after that.
Yeah. Also, the amount of people that call the store and say, "Hi, can I place a phone order?" I'm like, "No, you can't. That's not how this works. We don't do phone orders."
Yeah, I'd be like, you can order. Actually,
I tell
I
them
would
you
just
can
say
order
no.
Uber Eats and DoorDash, and that's the only.
I would just say no, sorry, and hang up. I wouldn't even put that into their mind that DoorDash and Uber exist.
"Hi, can I place an order?" "No, hang up."
Yeah. I'd add a sorry in there.
No, okay, but the story from yesterday, I'll tell you. This lady comes in and she orders ice cream, right? Right after, like, she was there when this, like, very large Hispanic family came in, and, like, I swear there was, like, 12 of them in the same group ordering ice cream. They all ordered ice cream, by the way. And she comes in and she orders, like, a cone and a shake. And
So I'll admit for a second there when you said large Hispanic family, I'm like my first thought was like a Hispanic family that was fat, and I'm like that's rude.
no,
to say
there
that.
were a few of them that were fat.
But
I think it was the parents.
and then I realized you meant like
Oh
big
no!
in numbers.
No, yeah.
I'm like, oh no, it turns out I'm the person who's an asshole.
You know,
Yes.
the amount of them was very large. But
Yeah, the amount of flesh.
yeah.
We might have to cut that.
No, I think we'll leave it in. Yeah, no, there was a significant amount of them. And this lady, like, probably, I guess, like mid-50s, 60s or so. She comes in and she orders a large shake, mind you, and a cone. And like, I'm making the ice cream, and then, like, 5 minutes later, I hear, like, Keishan talking to someone at the window, and I'm just like, what's going on over here? And I, like, lean over and I, like, talk to Keishan. I'm like, hey, what's going on? And he was like, oh, she, like, can you come help her? She wants her money back. And I'm just like, what? Okay, sure. And I walk over, and I was like, yeah, is there, like, some problem? And she was like, yeah, are you guys gonna make, like, their entire order before you make mine? And I was like, yeah, it's first come, first serve. And she was like, that's not how this should work. That's insane. Like, you should make smaller orders before you make the big orders. And I'm thinking, just like, where have you been for the last 80,000 years? Like, have you just been a fossil for, like, a long-ass time and then now realize that customer service exists?
Also, I will say it's like we will often do that too.
Yeah,
with certain things.
If it's, like, a cone and there's two people working fountain, but we were,
yeah,
like...
just because your order is an item shorter, if it's like 4 items compared to 5 items, it's not being made first. We're gonna make the other one first.
Yeah, exactly.
Because also, if we kept making smaller orders before the bigger ones, some of the bigger orders would never be made.
Yeah, exactly.
That logic is so, like, out of, like, it's
so
disillusioned.
flawed. And you should know, if you come into a food place and order food right after, like, a giant group of people, then you're not gonna get your food until they get theirs, which is going to be a long time. like a lot of the time when I go out to get food and I like specifically look at the parking lot and I say, "Oh shit, this place is really busy. I should go somewhere else to eat," because I'm self-conscious. I want food fast. It's why I'm there. I'm not going to wait for a long line of people. And also, the people that are there are probably really stressed out because there's a lot of fucking people there. By the way,
Oh, what? Oh, my blood altar was still in the middle of the room.
yeah!
Oh, how the blood altar has grown.
It has grown quite a bit.
The thickest of boys now.
Yes. Anyway, back to this lady. I had to fucking give her a refund because she couldn't wait like 15 minutes for a large shake. Oh my gosh.
Pouring a large shake. You already know what you're doing is bad.
Yeah.
Some of us would implode
Oh.
if they had a large shake. You privileged piece of... Anyways.
Anyways.
The joke is that I'm lactose intolerant.
Yes. Well, it just really ticks me off when people just don't understand the concept of being a nice person.
Yeah, it's something that I feel like America has a problem with individualism, which is that it takes it too far.
Yeah.
People care so much for themselves and only think about their experience to such a high degree that they don't like if you could somehow like pull their vision out of their own head and like show them what they were doing in a way that they could properly internalize, they would understand that they're being assholes. But it's just the way people are raised and a lot of
the thing with that is I don't think that that's true. Because
well, that's why I added the way in a way which they could properly internalize.
the thing with that is I have been in a situation with two of those people and one of them has agreed with the other in the sense of being an asshole.
What the hell?
Yeah, it was so bad. It was so upsetting. Like, one of them was like just being a complete idiot, being a complete asshole, and then the other one came up and we were trying to rectify the situation. We were like, "Sorry, sir, like there's only so much we can do." And the other guy came up and they were like, "Yeah, like why are you waiting on this guy? Like what's going on with this?" And I'm just like, "Dude, you are the opposite of help." You are pain and suffering for everyone involved. There is no good that you are bringing to this table. Oh my god.
I don't, and also it's also like there are people who are bad, right? But I feel like specifically when people go and order from a fast food place, they get worse. They get so much worse. And I understand that you've been treated poorly by
Do
the
you
stereotypical the stereotypical teenage, fast food worker, but stop.
Yeah. Teenage fast food worker who doesn't know what's good for him. Meh, I'm old.
What?
You heard what I said.
Did you say manhole?
No, I said, meh, I'm old.
Oh.
You kids. Shitty fucking kids. Get a real job. And stop serving me so that I don't get any more fast food. Oh shit. I didn't realize that because I'm an asshole.
Yep. God. Just people. People are annoying. But no.
People are very annoying.
The thing that annoys me actually most about the job right now, if I had to tell you one thing, is how many freaking deals we have going on right now.
Yeah! Yeah! Oh!
And I had a conversation with my father about this, and to the owner's credit, I won't say his name, but to the owner's credit, It might be corporate that's behind some of those, if not all of
Oh no,
them.
it's definitely corporate.
Um, but
It's
and this is why I said corporate is the thing I hate most
it's a
about it, 'cause I'm pretty sure.
combination of J and B, if you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know who those people are.
Yeah. It's a combination of them and the family behind it. And also just like corporate in general. I'm pretty sure they're mostly independent from the overarching corporate, and like they do their own things, because like a lot of the other locations have separate things. Like there's one that's like a 45-minute drive away from where we live, and they have steak sandwiches. We don't have steak sandwiches.
God, I'm
It's a
glad we don't.
completely different.
I'd be fatter.
It's a completely different menu set from where they have it over there, because it's a different owner.
Yeah.
Like, supposedly we used to have steak at our location, but I don't know.
I am glad though, because the more varied the menu, the more pain in the ass it is.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, the variety of deals that we have on the menu is just absurd. Like, there are people that only come to eat here for the deals just because they're that fucking ridiculously brain dead. Like, a normal burger after tax at our place is $6. Like, that's kind of a lot for a fast food burger, but like it's also like a solid quality burger. Then they make one.
Especially when we had the sticker patties, like that was the time.
Yeah, that was
one
solid.
of the few times I seriously considered buying a burger. Luckily I resisted because I know that I shouldn't eat burgers.
Yeah, but then the fucking $5.99 double 8-pound meal. Oh my god, the bane of my fucking existence. This shit, they literally a quarter-pound burger, $6. 2 8-pound patties, a fry, and a drink for $5.99. Oh my god. People will drive by, take the next U-turn, take another U-turn, and then come back to our restaurant. I have seen this happen. I have seen it out the window. People driving by, taking 2 U-turns, and then coming back to the store and saying, "Can I get that double fucking thing
And
for $6?"
Yeah, and here's the thing. There's 2 things about that deal which really annoy me. First, a lot of people who don't know the ordering, like the different items, so we have so the burger is called the double whatever it is. We're not mentioning because we're trying to be as unspecific as possible, but it's called, we'll call it the double light. It's the double light.
The double
it's the
8
light
pound.
burger. Yeah, the double 8th patty, as opposed to what is it?
A
Fourth,
single
right?
quarter pound.
Single quarter.
Yeah.
But people will just ask for the double, and I so many times I had to. Now whenever anybody asks for a double, unless they use the specific name of what the double burger is, or one of the other 2 double burgers, I have to specifically clarify if it's the 8th pound or the 4th pound.
Yeah.
That's really annoying. The other thing that's really annoying about the double 8th pound is that, so normally this isn't so much a deal anymore because we haven't been pre-cooking the patties pretty much at all. But we don't ever almost ever. There's been cases where we have, but we almost never pre-cook the 8th pound patties because they're not ordered as often.
Yeah.
And that was really annoying too, because it always took longer to make an 8th pound or double 8th pound than it would have. Like literally, it would have been faster to make the standard double.
Yeah. Oh my
and
gosh.
It's annoying. We can't store as many of the 8th pound patties in the fridge as we can the
normal patties, yeah.
The normal patties, so we have to refill them like every 3 orders.
Yeah.
It's just there's so many things about that specific deal that made it such a pain in the ass.
It's so just upsetting in general to make.
It also looks pathetic.
It's so pathetic. Oh my god. I
The
remember
picture makes it
making
look good, but in the actual it's two tiny patties in a burger.
the
It
patty,
looks
like,
stupid.
they shrivel up. The cheese is like overlapping onto it so that it gets like on the fucking grill most of the time, and it's disgusting.
Oh yeah, it's a pain in the ass to clean. Like
Ugh. It's
cheese
not
is the
that
thing that
bad.
it's well,
It's just
you
annoying.
can't scrape it off as easily as
Yeah.
other stuff.
But God, that double classic, man. There's this lady that comes in now, and like you've probably seen her a couple times. It's the lady who has her daughter in the stroller, and she like always orders the double classic with apple juice or whatever.
I think I saw it last time I worked, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. She's getting snarky now because she's a regular customer, quote unquote, which
God,
is
so
complete BS.
here's another thing I hate about fast food in general, or just working anywhere. You being a regular customer doesn't mean regular customer does not mean shit. No one gives a damn.
Like
We don't
if you're
care if you're
actually a regular
regular.
customer, then I would have seen you when I started working over a year ago. I have never seen this lady once in my life before we had the double classic meal.
Also, it's like just the concept in general of getting special privilege because you're a regular customer. Bite me.
Yeah, like
Bite me. I hate you. If you ever use the words, well, I'm a regular customer, you automatically get the burn in the deepest layer of hell. Like, I hate you so much. I
you
hate
can
how
say,
entitled people are.
like, I can understand saying like, "Hey, I come here pretty often and this is what I always order. Can I get that?" I can understand that because like, people that work there and they've made like a specific way for you in the past and like you've liked it. I can understand that. But if it's something like, "Hey, like I've come here all the time and the manager was here one time and she gave me a special offer. Why can't I get that every time?"
Because I'm not the freaking manager.
Yeah. Like
I can't do that. That's the other thing people do. It's like, I
fucking
can't do special deals for you. I could lose my job.
yeah, like the specific thing that this lady did was she gets the double thing because it's fucking cheap and she's probably poor as hell. But she gets this thing for her daughter, I think, and then she orders fucking apple juice with it because she doesn't want her daughter drinking soda. And I'm pretty sure when manager lady rung her up for it one time, she was like, "Oh, it's just apple juice for the kid. I won't like put it as an extra charge like we're supposed to." And then now she's got this fucking high horse, whereas when Keishan rung her up for it one time and charged her extra for the apple juice, she went fucking crazy and was like, "This guy's trying to charge me extra for something that I was supposed to get for free." And I come over and I'm just like, what's the deal? What's the problem? She was like, "This guy's trying to charge me extra for this thing. I'm a regular customer. I come here all the time. You've seen me before." And I'm just like, "Yeah,
Burn.
but
Burn.
you should know by now that we have to charge extra. If you come in here every time, if you're a real regular customer, then you're not going to see the manager every time that you come in. There is no way in hell that you've gotten that apple juice every single time you've come in if you're actually a regular customer." Like, come on, people.
Yeah, it's just it's entitlement. I don't understand. I guess I don't know. I think there are people who've just had lives that were less shitty, I guess. But
Yeah.
I've had some shit happen to me in the past. My story of how I got here is rocky and weird and
Yeah.
not fun. And I learned, at certain points it's like life sucks and you're not entitled to anything. Like if somebody gives you something for free, that's a nice thing they did.
Yeah.
Don't expect it to happen again.
Uh-huh.
Like just it's like people I don't understand, like people like that just like, oh, I got a free apple juice once, that means I should get a free apple juice every time I go in there. It's like that's where does that logic come from? Like where that's one is not a logical consequence of the other.
Uh.
I just people will go one of two directions. They'll go, "Oh, that's nice." And treat it like a one-time thing like you should. And then there are people like that who are just like suddenly their whole expectations for how life works for them change over this one thing that happened, and I don't understand. I truly don't understand how people have that line of logic. Like I can understand if it was like a rich person or a celebrity had that kind of logic, but a normal ass human being, you know, who's probably not all that, well off, having that kind of logic, like I don't understand where it comes from. And it's really pathetic and sad if you display these types of qualities
Yeah.
because it means you don't have perspective.
It like it's really sad for me to be saying this, but it makes me think, gee, maybe that's your problem. Maybe that's where you went wrong. Like maybe that's part of the reason that you're in a position that's not super good.
The
fact that you don't
expectation that it
understand how the world should work. Generally.
it's
It's so
It's-
saddening.
depressing. The way, like I said, just in general, the way people act towards fast food workers is excruciatingly painful.
And let's not
Not-
just limit this to fast food workers. Anyone that's really an essential worker have had to go through so much shit recently. Like fucking like working in the quarantine is so awful.
Working during one of the most unprecedented disasters and loss of human life in a long, long time. Like, let's take a moment. There are people who are working a standard fast food job trying to get your diabetes on a plate, while 100,000 people have died from a disease. 100,000. It's unreal.
It's really just insane.
And it's like, and partly in their defense, it might be because that's happening that some of them are acting worse now. It's like, I understand stress builds up and, sometimes it finds it finds escape vectors that you may not expect or be prepared for, and therefore it is harder to control your emotions. But there are some people who act this way so regularly towards the people who service them, even after all, like the posts and the information going around, like treat, the essential workers nicely. Like even after all that, and they do it so consistently, it's like, at some point you have to be held responsible for your actions.
Yeah.
At some point, I will not feel bad for judging you for being a piece of shit. Like being the occasional piece of shit happens. Like everybody's a piece of shit every now and then. Happens.
Yeah.
You have a day, but there are people who are having a day way too consistently.
People who have a day every day.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, have some perspective. I mean, take a moment, calm down, have a breath, and realize that everybody around you is, through some extent, suffering at what's happening.
Especially the workers.
Yeah.
Like I fucking work like I worked over 60 hours a week at a part-time job, mind you. Not even a full-time job, just like a part-time job, over 60 hours a week in a fucking pandemic. of great proportions. And I have to go home to my family. My sister's gonna have a baby soon. My mom wants to be there for like every step of the way. I don't want to take home disease to my mom or my sister or my sister's baby or anyone in my family. Like, I have grandparents that could easily catch this disease and die if I were to contract the disease. Like, that just, it spreads. It spreads. And I have to be there at fucking work servicing pieces of shit all day who don't, like, understand that, hey, we're all in this together. You're gonna be fucking me up so bad. I have to sit here and give you a fucking milkshake because you couldn't go
patient.
so fucking long without a fucking thing of ice cream.
I think you cut out for a second for me.
Did I? Fuck. Well, let's hope that the recording picked it up all.
Okay. Anyways, I was gonna go back to saying what I was saying. I was gonna say we should take a moment to acknowledge the people who are doing, not being pieces of garbage.
Yes, the people that
Like
aren't being awful are just so good, so great. Thank you very much.
Like, even people who would just order without incident, like who are just neutral. Like, I even appreciate those people.
Yeah, people who are like just normal customers. They're
And
just
also-
fine.
Also, the people who there are people who've been tipping more, people who have been extra nice just in vocal conversation,
Yeah.
or people that have like been patient and with just in general and with like mess ups. It's like, we appreciate you. Please keep doing that.
Yeah.
It helps a lot. But on the other hand, I was gonna say the results, the negatives definitely outweigh that though, because as much people are being nice, so many people are not.
Yeah.
And I predict that you're going to see two things happen in regards to people who are working these jobs as disposable income. You're going to see a lot of them quit,
Yep.
and you're
Like,
going to see
I'm taking time off. Did I tell you about this? I'm taking time off.
how long you take it off.
From the I think it's the 15th. My last day is Sunday. And I'm being off until the 10th of July.
Do you think I can get away with trying to do something like that?
Probably not, because the only reason I'm working this week is because you have this week off.
That's gonna suck because I was really thinking about taking longer.
No, I need this time off. I need this time off so that I don't
Oh,
have
yeah,
to
I'm
worry
not-
about like my family. I don't have to worry about.
I'm
I've
not
been
gonna
working
stop you at
for. I've been working there for a year and a half almost by this point, nonstop. Like I've not taken more than 3 days off at a time, from working there, and I have not taken a single break, and I really feel like this is gonna be a good amount of time off for me that I've been needing for quite some time.
Yeah.
Uh,
But as I say, you're gonna see a lot of people quit, and you're gonna see a lot of people develop the standard stereotypical fast food worker attitude, which is that they're not gonna care, they're not gonna give a shit about you or your food. They're gonna
Yeah.
make it as lazily as they can, throw at you until you get the hell out.
mhm.
And I want people to know that, especially if you're the type of people we've been talking about this entire time, who's a piece of shit, it's not just because they're young or that they're fast food workers that they're going to have this attitude. I mean, some of them it is going to be the case. That's exactly why it's going to be the case.
Yeah.
But in some of them, it's going to be a developed, learned habit because you've been treating them like shit.
Yeah. Like
It's like,
we already have one of those guys at our work. Like I'm not gonna.
sit M.
Yeah. He doesn't really give a shit about his job at all.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that.
But it's pretty bad. Yeah, we already have people that just don't care about their jobs anymore at our work, and that's really not a great thing,
Should I
especially from a supervisor standpoint.
yeah, it's also it's gonna put us in a very awkward position
Um,
because we can't blame them,
no, not
but
at
we're the
all.
ones that are supposed to tell them to get to work.
Um,
Speaking of supervisors, one of the other I had an enlightening conversation with one of the other supervisors that worries me a lot, which is that let's see if you know who I'm talking about here.
yes, yes.
Okay. Um, she's thinking of quitting.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, so what happened is the last day I wasn't closing, I was working until 11 though.
Uh-huh.
The last day I worked before I got this week off, um she got a call from Jay
Yes.
saying that just like as a reprimand for her behavior because she supposedly lost 6 customers while she was in the back talking to other people, other employees, right?
Oh,
And
wow.
all that other like a bunch of other stuff. Just I forgot exactly what the complaints were. Oh, turning the lights off early, and stuff
Hmm.
like that. Little things mostly, but there was like 6 different points that he brought up
Wow.
um against her,
Hmm.
and she's like, here's the attitude that really scares me is attitude one of our coworkers at the former place we used to work had, um, which was, "What are they gonna do? Fire me?"
Yeah.
Because she knows that they're not gonna do that.
Who had that attitude? At
I, we can go ahead and say it. Papa
yeah.
Murphy's was the other place.
Yeah.
I forgot her name.
Was it was it was it Jamie?
No,
No.
it was a woman.
Sarah?
Yes,
Ah, yes.
Sarah was not
Hmm.
good at her job.
No, she was not.
And also, like, even worse than M at her current job, has the attitude of I really don't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she also kind of seemed to have like this may be some level of protection, but she seemed to have like a rich girl kind of like personality, like stereotypical. I
Did
have money.
she?
I kind of felt that from
Yeah,
her.
kind of. Just a little bit, maybe.
That energy, at least, you know.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
But I'm getting very similar feels in regards to how she feels about that job
Hmm.
as A is getting as yeah, A is right now. Like that conversation is
It
like
kind of
yikes.
surprises me that like I feel like to an extent A wouldn't like I thought that maybe
She was better.
she would
That's
be
mistake number
like
one.
well, I thought that maybe she would like care a little bit more now that she's like actually in a position that
Well,
like she's
here's
she's getting better pay, she's getting like probably relatively hours that she wants.
her so this boils down to the reason she explained why she wanted the position in the first place, which is to put on a transcript slash future applications, right?
Hmm.
That's why she wants it. So, and
That's
she wants to stay in the job longer to so that, you know, putting that on a resume looks a little more official, right?
yeah, yeah.
But it leads into the situation where she wants to stay because of that, but because of her lack of work ethic and poor supervisor practices, and the fact that they can't fire her right now because we're so low staffed,
Yeah.
leads to only one option as a repercussion. Um, a true repercussion, anyways, which is to demote her. And if they demote her, she has no reason to stay because her whole reason for continuing to work right now
Is the
is for
position.
the position.
Yeah.
So that's the issue. And now she may have just been annoyed because Jay was getting on her and being, pushy boss man.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is job.
Yeah, but that she may have just been annoyed in the moment because of that, and she may care more than she let on.
Yeah.
But if not, that's the situation, and that's what scares me.
Yeah.
Especially because if there's any individual we can't stop from having that attitude, it's her.
Yeah. That's a very fair point. uh,
It's like,
she's
I'm
a
not
very
gonna
free
tell her to do
spirit.
more work. Are you?
Yeah.
No. Especially, and the other thing that makes it more difficult to do that kind of thing too is like, I genuinely enjoy talking to her.
Yeah, she's a great person.
And it's like, and I understand where she's coming from too. So it's like,
Yeah.
and I don't think she'll ever truly be as bad as Sarah was in the
Oh
first.
yeah, no, definitely not.
It takes a
She does her job.
special-
She does her job.
It takes a special level of what's the word I'm looking for? Apathy to become
that's a
a
good
Sarah.
word. Yeah, that's a good word.
But yeah, it is disturbing that she has that logic.
Yeah.
Because it does lead to poor practices like hanging out in the back and not taking customers and turning off the lights early and stuff like that. And the other thing she does a lot, which I feel like is going to get her in the most trouble, is canceling and snoozing Uber Eats and DoorDash.
Oh, does she do that?
A lot.
Really? That's
Yeah.
interesting.
I thought she said, she told me that she did it at one point. And I'm like, okay, you do it when it's busy. It's fine. I'm sure would get mad at you for that. Oh, I said his name. Crap.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'll be editing this, so I'll just bleep it or something.
So I'm sure Jay would get annoyed at that, but it wouldn't result in him doing anything about it,
Yeah.
right? But yeah, that's apparently she does it a lot, especially because you can actually outright cancel Ubers. Apparently,
That's interesting. I never knew that.
yeah, apparently, yeah, you can absolutely outright just cancel an Uber
Huh.
from your end, which is something I did not know and was surprised that she did.
Yeah, that's a bit surprising.
And I'm like, I also kind of wish I didn't know this information.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's okay. Uber Eats is way not as bad as DoorDash, anyways.
Oh yeah, no. Definitely.
But yeah, in summary, working at fast food during a pandemic sucks.
It really does. It
And it
really
probably
does.
sucks wherever you work.
Yeah. I mean, I come in during when Dominic is working. He works at we could say he works at Target. There's like billions of Targets.
Yeah.
And I've only been in there once or twice when he's been working during the lockdown because I don't go there now. And he's seemed a lot busier now. Whereas before, like, he could be like at self checkout and he'd be just kind of like standing around waiting for something to happen. Now he's actually has to like be running around and doing things because they need him to be doing things.
Oh yeah, especially because Target's one of those places you can actually buy stuff.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of places open where you could just buy a bunch of the miscellaneous stuff you might need.
Yeah. And I'm so happy that it is open because a lot of younger people in the area work there and they need that job.
Yeah, and also, it's like, imagine how we're feeling doing all this. There are people who have to work at these places.
Yeah.
Like it's literally their livelihood, and it's like I feel so much sympathy for those people because they put up with the same shit, right? But they don't. They can't even like. We can say we're gonna quit. We probably won't, at least for a while.
Yeah.
But we at least we have the luxury of saying we can do that. Like at least we have the instant relief
Yeah.
of the knowledge. Like if it really gets bad, I can quit. And just being able to say that makes you feel better. They can't say that.
Yeah, no. For them, it's just, well, this is my life now.
Yeah, for them it's like it's even worse. It's like what the people are like all the shit they have to put up with. It's even worse for them because they have the exact opposite effect, which is they interact with that kind of behavior and then they have to the inevitable thought is like I can't escape this,
Yeah, no.
which probably just makes it feel worse.
I'm sure it's so much worse. Oh, man.
Also, L quit. Did you hear about that?
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that he quit, but I saw it on the schedule that his last day was um Friday, Saturday, one of those two.
I think he's either quitting or is like he's going on like an extended leave, like no set date to return.
Mm,
But
yeah.
I know I think he actually just straight up quit, which is sad because he was like one of the few entry level workers who actually did their job and did it well.
Yeah.
He was one of my favorite people to work with.
He was so great. Oh man.
Yeah, and that's like when I saw him signing the what is it? It was a form that said willful termination.
Uh
I was like, "Ah, are you kidding me?"
you're like, don't do
Like
this to me.
I was told he was leaving before that, but like once I saw him signing the paper, it's like and I'm like, "Ah, that's one of the few actual good workers here."
Yeah.
And he's going to leave.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's just going to make everything worse.
Mhm. So much worse. Uh it's gonna like I finally like actually was able to sit down and have like a fun talk with him. We talked about playing games and he actually was into COD. I didn't know that until I talked to him about it. And we had a really enjoyable time. Like we were working in the morning and it was actually a quiet morning and we had just like a solid 30 minutes where we had no prep work to do or anything like that and we just sat around and talked.
Yeah. I had a similar experience to you recently. Like I had a full length conversation with him.
He's such a cool
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah,
Honestly.
he's like he was one of my favorite people. Like even before I got to talk to him really. He was just like
Yeah,
I also appreciated the fact that he would, would be silent and do work.
yeah,
It's like,
he
"Oh,
didn't
you don't know how much I
he
appreciate
never
that."
complained about anything.
Yeah, and it's like that's one of the things too. Is like he never complained.
He never complained about anything like unless it was a serious like joke. And I'd be
Yeah,
like,
I
"Hey, do
think
you want to like go and do this?" And he's like, "I don't wanna, but I'll do it." like I'll,
he
I'll say like, "Hey, like how was it doing like the like there we would be like on a day where we got an order that came in and there was just like stacks and stacks of boxes and I was just like after he'd come in from doing recycling I was like, hey, how was the recycling? He was like, there was a lot of boxes. Something like that, just like little quips that like meant nothing but it was just so humbling, you know.
yeah. So that was my first favorite person to work with. My second favorite person to work with is leaving, or is the A not actually the best worker, and B, has the whole predicament I told you about.
Yeah,
I still don't know how I feel about working with Keishan yet.
you don't.
Keishan's annoyed me a couple times during work.
Yeah, He seems to have the impression that he should be helpful anytime that he can, even when he's not being helpful.
Also, it's like he gets really caught up on certain things, and
Yeah.
it is really annoying. Like putting the cheesecake away. It's like I took out the cheesecake to make an order, went to go hand it out, and as I was walking it back, by the way, to put the cheesecake away, he was getting on me about not putting the cheesecake away. And I'm like, buddy, I'm a supervisor in training. That's not, the kind of thing you really need to worry about me forgetting.
He may or may not watch this, in fact. If you are watching this, hi,
It's
Keishan.
fine. I yelled at him when it happened.
Yeah.
He already knows that that annoyed me, and it's fine if he knows that it annoyed me in the future. It was a thing that happened at work. It's fine.
Yeah. It's really
Work is a
nothing
different
to...
realm than outside of work.
Work doesn't exist. Work is a bad sitcom that we all watch. Like, hey, you saw what happened on today's episode of Work? Yeah, it was shitty.
Basically, yeah. God, work sucks.
Uh,
The thing is, too, and the thing that's really difficult about. So I've been thinking about leaving, right? Even I'm getting to that point.
we all have.
I'm still thinking about it, but I have several issue factors working against me right now that are probably going to result me not leaving, but also result in me just suffering because I'm not leaving.
Is one of them, if you leave, then the whole place gets hurt really hard because we have less employees?
Yeah, that's one of the things. So that's a major one too, and is probably going to be the defining factor of why I don't leave.
Yeah.
Because unlike with Papa Murphy's, where I didn't like the place get burned to the ground for all I cared.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that really rely on our place being open, and there's a lot of people that really like it's a good place, and like the manager at Papa Murphy's was alright. Like I had my serious problems with it.
I straight up hated her
Eh,
because she would yell so much at me over the phone that was so shitty that you couldn't really
yeah.
hear what she was saying anyways. Like I can't like I refuse to take phone orders or phone calls
Yeah.
for the store for a long time, and I told Marilyn that don't expect it to happen. When even if I'm a supervisor, I will take calls when it is you or Jay.
Yeah.
That's what I told the manager, right? So it's like
Yeah.
I really, really, really do not want to take phone calls.
Mhm.
And one day, it was busy and the phone was ringing, and she asked me to take a phone call, and I remember shaking on my way to the phone. Like that's how bad it was from my previous job. And I picked up the phone and it was fine, and the call was fine, and the customer was just wondering about. So apparently, a whole entire bag. Like, another thing that DoorDashers do that annoy me. We will put something down in front of them and say that we're getting the rest of the order, but sometimes they don't listen and take what is put in front of them and leave.
Yeah, they're supposed to check like it off all of the items, and they're like, "Oh, is there a milkshake in this bag full of food?" Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like
Who are you?
It's like the guy took one bag and this lady was calling like, "Hey, I'm missing half my stuff." And I'm like, there's a a bag marked 2 of 2 here. Your dasher probably left before we could give it to him because dashers do that a lot."
Yeah.
I didn't say that. I wanted to say it,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
but it's like I just said the dasher probably left before we could give it to him. And I felt okay allocating that amount of blame to the dasher because
Yeah.
I
No,
don't like the
that's
dashers.
completely understandable amount of blame for the fucking dasher.
And by the way, if you work for DoorDash, we don't hate you. as long as you don't come to our work and be a piece of shit.
Yeah. If you
Actually, no, I'll say as long as you don't come to our work. If you're unfortunate enough to get a DoorDash at our work, I hate you for the 5 minutes I have to interact with you, and then it's neutral. But
if you're a nice person about it, then I'm
actually,
okay
yeah,
with it.
yeah, I'm okay. Like there are some Dashers who are patient and nice, and to be fair, Dashers suck because they have to deal with the company's Uber or DoorDash, and both of which suck.
Yeah.
It is not fun being an independent contractor working for a company, and I understand that.
Yeah.
But if you can't handle it, don't work for those companies, and find some other source of income to the best of your ability. And don't complain at me because
Yeah.
it does not make me sympathetic to your plight at all.
We're coming around to the hour mark here, so I want to end this with the story of my worst experience with DoorDash, which was I have two of them actually. One of them was there was a guy who came in. I forget if it was DoorDash or Uber Eats, but he came in here and he was like, "Hey, we have like this meal," and it was like, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be like a sec. We still have to cook it." And he was like, okay about it. And then when we called it out, he was just sitting in his car, and so there was like an extra 10 minutes that was waiting for him to get out of his car. And then he eventually got out of his car and he was like, "Yeah, can I order food too?" And I was like, sure, because we have to serve them. And so like he orders like a BLT, which takes the longest out of any menu item on our menu, by the way, to cook.
BLTs and ham and cheeses.
Yeah, anything on like toast sandwiches, they take the longest. And so we like make the fucking thing, and then he sits down outside and starts eating it at the store, which adds this man has probably been at the store for like 30 minutes before he like finishes his meal, and then he sits around for another like 5 minutes just waiting for something, and before he actually leaves, the customer probably like waited an extra 30 to 45 minutes just to get their food, and that looks bad on us.
I mean, to be honest, I don't care if we look bad on DoorDash.
Like,
in fact, I hope we look bad on DoorDash. I hope people go, "Oh, 40 minutes for an order? No, thank you."
Well, yeah.
God, I hate DoorDash.
But
I really wish didn't have
yeah.
DoorDash. Yeah, I was talking. I actually said this to the manager. I said, "Do you know how much better my working experience here would be if we didn't have DoorDash?" Like,
It would be
I
so
would be
much
taking. I would probably be taking twice as many hours as I am right now.
Yeah.
If we didn't have DoorDash, because the job would be tolerable.
Yeah.
Especially right now during the pandemic, because DoorDash is all everybody's ordering.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'm sure also the company, DoorDash, is having a field day right now. But yeah, it's awful.
It's real bad.
And I really, really want to quit. And the moment I find a real valid excuse that outweighs all the cons, I'm going to.
Yeah.
Primarily, what I have to do is find a job that is better in
Yeah.
some way. Because I have one of my things that's going to stop me from quitting is that I try to have a personal rule, which is you don't quit a job until you get a new job.
Yeah.
And this includes, if I ever need to, focusing on school.
Yeah.
That is a valid thing, as long as I actually focusing on school and taking enough courses to be considered full-time student.
Yeah. Supposedly, according to my dad, Amazon is hiring.
Interesting.
They have like a website that you can go to.
You do realize that you're tempting me to go look at a job that might be better than the one I have, which would be enough of a reason for me to quit.
Oh yeah, no, that's fine. But anyway, the other worst experience with DoorDash. I think it was actually an Uber Eats, and it was on a day that we were really busy, and we just so happened to not have the order ready when he got there, and
The
was like,
audacity, right?
yeah, and he gets there, and I was just like, yeah, it's not ready. It probably won't be ready for a little bit, and he was like, okay, how long do you think it'll be? And I'm just thinking, like you said, I'm thinking worst case scenario, it's probably like 10 to 15 minutes. And he was like, okay. And he goes away and we make the order. And eventually, I think it took like 10 minutes or so. Eventually, we call it out and we're like, hey, we have an Uber Eats for this guy. And he doesn't show up. He like doesn't come to the window to pick it up. And I'm like, okay, just stick it under the thing. We'll call it out every once in a while. We call it out like 4 times, and then eventually it's not busy anymore. And we realize the guy left, and we looked at the thing, and it's like assigning new Uber Eats driver. And we're like, okay, that's fine. There'll be a new driver. And then there like eventually was never a new driver. Like it was like assigning a new driver. Oh, we have a new driver on their way. Assigning a new driver. We have a new driver on the way. Assigning a new driver. And it like actually assigned like 4 different drivers, and no one would come to fucking pick this order up. We had it sitting there for probably like 40 minutes, and then it eventually got canceled by the customer.
I had a DoorDash sit for like 2 hours.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Like, it makes no sense.
we had a dasher come past closing
Oh my god.
for an order. Actually, I don't think it was past closing, but it was really close. Like maybe at closing, we had a dasher come up to pick an order, and didn't give any explanation. It was the same dasher. He was just late.
Oh
I didn't say
God.
anything. He's just like, I'm here to pick up the order, as if he wasn't like an hour and a half late.
It's ridiculous, man.
I don't know. I was talking to the manager about it, and I'm like, I'm baffled. Like, how does this happen? How are you that late? I'm like, how are you that late and just not say anything? I guess it might be embarrassing or something, but or I don't know. It's
Yeah.
like, do you have car trouble? Like, why didn't you? What? How does that happen? I'm baffled about, where during that process did you go wrong?
Yeah. Anyway, that's probably gonna do it for this episode. We've gone over an hour by now. Maybe some cuts and stuff will bring it back down below that.
Yeah,
but
it'll probably have some cuts in it.
yeah. Either way, this has been Decaf Hour. If you enjoy this format, then I say you as though we'll get any fucking viewers on this shit. But if this format is enjoyable for us, then
Yeah, that's
we,
the real
we
determining
might
factor right now.
eventually start doing this as a regular thing. And I don't know, I kind of enjoyed it. It was nice to just like talk about shit, you know?
It was fun to vent for
Oh yeah.
for an hour and a half about how our jobs suck.
Yeah, and we didn't even get to talk about Minecraft at all. Haha. That was fun.
Oh, were we supposed to talk about Minecraft?
If we wanted to.
We can probably devote
we can devote like
we
an
could probably have
episode
an episode that's
to-
just about different games. I'm not sure we can devote a whole episode to talking about Minecraft necessarily.
I mean, we could talk about like the world here on this
Oh,
world.
we should do like a guided tour for
A
that.
guided tour. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like do
But
one
I
of our
think that
decaf
should-
hours in the world.
Yeah, I think we should do that once we have like my goal is to have a room for every mod, or at least every mod that has enough stuff to justify its own room.
Yeah. And
Well,
we'll
once we
probably
complete
want to
that-
set up like an actual serious base for that.
Like in the castle.
Yeah, in the castle or like wherever we decide that we want to do that.
I definitely think we should throw a lot of the magic stuff into the castle.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Also, I have a proposition, which is, are you still recording? Because you could really stop.
I am recording. Yes.
Oh.
This has been Decaf Hour number 1. Bye.